Peace and love, peace and love. Peace and love to the planet. Peace and love to the gods, to the goddesses, to the angels. Salute. We are here, April the 14th. A very powerful day. Having a very powerful build with a very powerful G. He goes by
Lord Almighty. Art. I am that I am. Serious B.
Peace, God. Peace. Peace. It is an honor. Today, we are just celebrating with the ORISHAS. We are at the altar. We are about to light the orange candle as we continue to raise the vibrations and as we continue to build and allow the spirit to move. Peace and love to the planet. It feels so good, like my mom, right? She gave me $20 the other day to go get her some candles and some incense. You know, so that meant like, that meant a lot. You know, like that was love, that was peace. That was an honor. I was pleased. You know, it was an honor and pleasure to go get her some candles and some incense. You know, it's just like tapping in, like just tapping in just to the elements that, as soon as that fire is lit, you can feel it in your, it's like, how, it doesn't give you no goosebumps or nothing like that, but it's just like, not if your hair raises, but it's like right under there. You can just feel it. Like all of that, the matrix, you can feel the fluid, everything flowing. Just right then and there when the fire hit. Like if it was frozen for a minute, like the flow would just like, whew. Feel it. Every time. Every time that the fire is lit. And in my head and in my thought, it took me to a science. Because every time that you see the light flick, to know the science and psychology to the crack era. And the smoke, the pookie, crack era, you know what I mean, and the science to the fire. That sometimes they would just be looking at the fire. They would like as if they, I don't know, but through experience of watching and seeing and have seen, it's like the fire. Something about the fire, the fact that the fire when they all day long they doing this with the fire. That's the crack era. But they was wasting their fire. They looking at the fire, wasting their fire and consuming, a product that was, numbing them like ice would numb you.
Same thing with
frozen.
Money. Same thing with people addicted to money. You know what I'm saying? They look at the money. Just looking at the money.
Freezes them.
Like they done accomplished something when they really the money. They really the.
You really the value.
Yeah, you really the value. But you looking at something outside yourself, like it's that thing. This is what I've been working my whole life for. When you would think that you would be working your whole life for keeping yourself together. Not with something outside of yourself, but with who you are and all that you is, like a plant or a tree, you know what I'm saying? It ain't, you know, we may be asking for, like you say, that water or that spirit or that energy, but that's all it needs is what you need the money for? To sustain. You ain't, if you to eat, to house you, to clothe you, to provide transportation or whatever. But that's what the money has been for. But when you got that, like I'm in my house, you know what I'm saying, or I'm getting my energy, you know, and it's abundant, and I ain't gotta pay for it no more. It's I mean, all I gotta do is keep it clean or whatever. I mean, the earth provided all, like, you know, one brother, somebody said, you know, not everybody's greed, but it provides everybody's needs. It's just that hunger for power, man. You know what I'm saying? That hunger for power, you know what I'm saying? Like that dominance, you know what I'm saying? A lot of, you know, people look for, you know what I'm saying? Like to create a competition. When I you know, like when my, you know, one of my sons, I say, we won. We ain't gotta fight no more, man. You, me, I'm you, we won, man. We won the battle already. We here now, man. That was the hardest part to me, is showing up. Now let's get on one accord as one. Not being competition with each other against one another, but be, like we talked about on interdependence. You independent now, I'm here now, you here now, we won, man. 1 + 1 = 1. Let's create the big one, man. Let's acknowledge the big one, the force behind the power. Instead of fighting the power, recognize the force behind the power.
Truth. That truth is power.
That's power, and then you got falsehood is power too. So I said we looking at two forces: one falsehood, one is truth. Being able to discern between the two, that's our only struggle. That's the challenge. But we all got a choice, a chance, and a challenge. And like some will say, if you with me, you with me. Those that ain't with me, you against me. But we shouldn't be against each other from the start. But we can't help but find deceit somewhere, or imposters, impersonators, those that's trying to be somebody other than who they truly are.
Truth has no competition or no competitor. Can't compete with the truth.
I mean, if we acknowledge the force behind the truth, that it don't die, it just multiply. You know what I'm saying? If we look at, you feel me? If we look at the truth gonna pass away or die in that word, because we can say pass on the truth. Literally pass the truth on to others, or pass the truth on in another, you know, in another light. But we ain't got to look at the word, even acknowledge the word death. That would be only for those living alive.
The afterlife.
Death, there is no afterlife. In death, there's no afterlife. But in the truth, there's always something more. There's forever and ever. Where there is no time, like we was talking about. The truth gonna stand in the dark, in the day, the light gonna always be there. Just a lot of us blind to acknowledge, or like I said, recognize that truth or that force. We've been hypnotized, brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? Hypnotized, brainwashed, put in a trance, institutionalized, programmed.
All of the above.
Distracted, you know. I mean, but that's, in my mind, that's life. And being able to adapt and change with time, with even
that's the school. That's the schools of punishment, huh?
That's the gift. That's the gift of life.
That's the schools of punishment.
That's the gift of life. Man, and being able to accept that or respect that from listening.
Because the rewards is the actual knowledge from the schools of thoughts.
experience itself.
And then when you actually go through the sacrifice, you actually receive what?
A reward.
Punishments.
Oh, after the sacrifice is a punishment.
Well, the rewards, the rewards is that you got the rewards, but you still have to be punished for rewards.
That's the punishment.
This is what I'm telling you, trying to tell you. Like right now, like what we going through
is a punishment.
What we going through,
we got to go through this punishment.
But it's a reward for us. You hear me? That it's a reward for me for the knowledge, for receiving.
Man, it's a punishment.
For receiving that light of self, that light of life.
Man, I'm crying right now, man. My soul crying on a position where I see myself.
Yeah,
because you know what I'm saying. I didn't come with the not having to sacrifice. I come here to sacrifice, so my soul is like more like going through it right now, enduring this struggle.
Now but remember that yes, we express it and we know that it's there, the emotion, that's the fluidity, right? The 70% that's within us. And when it's stirred up, hot or cold, right, it causes some type of eruption or some type of storm. So it's on you how to control it by how you feed it, if you stir it, which way you stir it.
Working on that.
Now, to know that we keep a balance of it, because it'll cloud the vision.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we passionate about this mission.
Man,
and we come to the death of it. You know what I mean? So I love what you celebrate today about your passing on day, yeah. And because once again we're gonna speak of the Passover and the Easter coming up here this Sunday. I always consider anything that I had did in my past life. So you say Passover, passing over. So anything that I had done in my past life, I called it my king. So anything that had to do with sex, money, drugs, that way of life, negative energy, low vibrations, I call it the king. Now, I personally mummified my king before they incarcerated my king and before they assassinated my king. I mummified my king. So I love that you say that, because every day we destroy and we rebuild. Every day we
It's a
die.
big one. It's a big one.
Every day we die when we close our eyes, right? When we go to sleep, and then we wake back up, right?
I don't sleep, I rest.
Well, it's the rest. It's the same, right? Place to rest. Recharge. We still what? We go down.
Yeah.
We go down and get back up.
Yep.
So with that, knowing that we, as the sun, we what? We fall and rise.
Okay.
All right. So and through that
resurrection, we recharge again. Yes.
Now, time and time that we rise and fall, how do we continue, right? How do we continue to push forward? I think I lost the gift, what we were speaking about on the rise and the fall. We say what topic was we on? I think I missed that topic that we was on. What was the main topic? Sacrificing. The sacrifices. All of the sacrifices, which of course, knowing that the main sacrifice for the feminine power. So we rise and fall every day. We come to a death. So we come to that death. We come to that state of death, right? Darkness, even when our eyes are closed, right? We still can imagine light. We can see light if we choose to, right? We can still hear, still visualize. But we take that sacrifice because we are repeating this over and over and over and over again until we get it right. So I think we was also speaking about punishments and rewards. And as far as receiving the knowledge, receiving the knowledge is a reward to me, right? Receiving the knowledge is a reward to me, and the fact that to go to sacrifice that I have to have in this reward that I'm receiving, I have to sacrifice now. Why? Because when you receive the reward, the gift of truth, you have to live it. So every time that, all right, so I receive truth, let's say in a true way of what we consume. All right, so getting back, all right, we could say the alkaline, or we could say, you know, veganism, right? Yeah. I say the milk of life, right? Yeah. So I'm just saying through transition, we can go through the alkaline, the veganism, to get to the milk of life, get back to the bosom, right? But each time that you find truth, you have to then, the truth is a reward. That's the reward. But you are now punished because you have to sacrifice yourself, number one. And when you sacrifice yourself, that means you have to speak the truth and live the truth. So that means you have to stop everything that you're doing in your mind state that you felt is the way of life, or whatever life that is around you, and do what that truth is telling you to do. What the spirit, what that power is telling you to do, right? Because power is truth, truth is power, right? And it's all the spirit of God, right? So when the deities, and Mama, we always speak about that feminine deity, because we learning more about the feminine deity now than rather than the actual masculine. But we learned most of the 28% of the masculine, the breath of life, right? Preaching the word of God. But now we're learning the 70%, which is the what? The fluidity, which is the water, the oceans, the orishas, right? The goddesses, the woman. So now that we are getting back to them, you know, and letting them know, like, that's the sacrifice. So when we able to dig deep within our souls, the water that is within us, and pull out this information and give it to them, and all the truths, we have to live it. So that means that every truth that we come about, we're gonna have to stop this one way of life and live that truth. Right? So that's a destroy and rebuilding every day, because every day that's the reason why we're here. To repeat. So repetition builds what? Perfection, right? So they say, well, nothing's, you know, perfect or whatnot, but that's why we can keep repeating and doing life. It's the degrees. Every day is a degree, right? That's how I feel. It's 365, but I feel it's supposed to be 360. However, that's another point of mathematics. But I feel like it's just a degree that you learn. Right? Because it's also the sun, as the earth turns, the sun up and down, which we got to get back to that bill, God. The sun going up and down, but we'll get to that, right? So I feel that once you gain your reward and your joy of that truth, because learning is like having sex, right? So that's you know, that's like an honor, a pleasure, right? All in one. It's joy. Once you receive that, you now have to give it to the world. Because that's your purpose. That's why it was given to you. That's why, you know, once you crack the code and you pull it out of yourself, you felt that joy. So now you got to give that joy to your loved ones. Right? And now when you give it to them, you got to live that truth, sacrifice whatever way of life and live it, right? And also, if they don't agree with you, take that sacrifice like the story of Jesus Christ, symbolically, right? So you have to go through, you got to go through this life, true and living, standing on those truths that you have pulled from within yourself, that comes from either the outer realm, inner realm of knowledge, right? And from the, you know, infinite source. Yeah,
experience being that teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, peace God. I lost that thought for a minute on where we was at. But
yeah, because, you know, like what you're saying, knowledge is half the battle. You know what I'm saying? Then you got, it's like going to school or going to college. That's the battle within itself, and then it's applying that knowledge, or, you know, applying yourself in some type of, you know, whatever trades you got yourself
sacrifice
that you learn. You got to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, might not get a wage that you don't like, agree with. Got to
stage acceptance and agree, but that's where the whole experience in itself is not, like we saying, good or bad. It's not measured by nobody's standards. The experience itself, that's what make up the conglomerate. Like you, and
because it's distinct.
your experience ain't gonna be the same as my experience. But what we can look forward to is bringing your independence along with my independence
So
together.
that we can bring it out.
Yeah, that we can, produce something together, because we living here together. We got like, what they call outer dependence, and then you got
Interdependence.
and then you not just that, you got outer determinants, what they would call like your I'm a product of my environment. That's called the outer determinant.
And the interdeterminant
It's what's going on, like what you deficient in, as far as
my
like
environment is a product of me.
morals, values, and principles.
My environment is a product of me. The inner.
That's the outer determinant. Then the inner determinant is, like I said, like the morals, what's being taught inside the home, or which
will be the environment is a product of me.
Truly. I mean, that's either inside or outside. The product that you are what you eat.
Because the morals and the values, the tradition.
You are what you eat.
Yeah.
You are what you eat, and you are
from
where
the
you
inside.
and you guilty by association.
That's that inner world. So that inner world, outer world, right? It's all one. We all connected. Ain't no division.
Indirectly or directly.
Damn, that was deep. I wanted to go to that bill. I gotta get to that lesson. I gotta get to that study. That Easter study.
The Easter studies, like we was talking about on the
No,
resurrection.
I was cracking a little code, and it had got deep.
Oh, I was listening to you say about the rising and the setting, and
It had led me to like a Japanese bloodline.
okay,
Called the Red Line, and it was called the Atkinson. That's my last name. So I
wanted to reflect on that.
yeah, I had wanted to tap into that today, but I'm gonna save that bill. I still got tomorrow. All right, so today is.
There's no tomorrow. It's
No. Yeah. No tomorrow.
Later on in the day.
I have another degree.
Later on in the day.
I have another degree.
Later on in the day.
Yep. So therefore, I could work on the degree Friday.
Later on in the day.
Now, the reason why I'm gonna work on that degree Friday is why? Because fry is like pre. Like,
I mean, that's foreign language to me.
No, I'm just saying.
That's not the original language. The original language is later on in the day.
Peace, God.
That's foreign language. That's something else. Yeah, that's another language. I gotta get off in the wood fry. That's their spell. That ain't our spell. Our spell is the same day. This day will last forever. It's over with. I will never forget you ever again in life. Unless somebody can take my head off.
No, I was just building on the fact that the fry, and that like it represented like my name Phillip. So, but I'm PH like with a P, but it's still Phillip. So like
that's mathematics.
Pre means fire. So fry means fire day too. So Friday is a fire day. So we build tomorrow on a fire day, not tomorrow.
Later
on the fire day.
Truly.
Yeah, later on the fire day. Type time, know them all type time. Peace to you on the know them all. I'll build what you got.
Gratitude.
So the fire day. And cause we still building on the sun, the mantra. We got it, cause that's still Easter, that's still Esther. So I got some studying to do, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we might continue, cause I'm anxious, but we just still building up. We raising vibrations. Now, I know you got a lot to share with the university.
I haven't had such a moment like this ever in my life that I can recall.
Peace, God.
But I appreciate you, welcoming me to such a demonstration. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't hit the live button though, guys. We recording.
No, all is well.
But we may be building up for the live one, God. You know what I'm saying?
Like I look forward to coming through.
And the thing about the live one, and it's, as you said, letting the spirit move, and introduction to being the first time, is that we already spoke on the last 3 builds on the live. We just put it together. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the balance of today's build. That they ain't, you know what I'm saying? What they would just get sharp, just a straight arrow of what we getting at, And
AGARTHA.
Agartha, the Agartha. You see, I gotta keep that fresh on the membrane. The Agartha, right? And so getting back to the Agartha that's the you gotta get back to how just that description on that sun rising and falling, because we need to know if the sun is actually falling and rising into the inner world.
Again, who invented the sun? I mean, that question gonna always be the
Number one question.
I mean, who invented the sun and the moon? I mean, where did the sun and the moon come from? You know what I'm saying? We see these things
Because we only know it as light and darkness.
and we know it as something that was created along with the earth. But is that true? Just as much as they speak on these other planets that we have not seen physically, most of us, but we being dependent on others, just like they told us that today is what it is as far as being Thursday. Is that actually
True. Is
true?
the calendar accurate?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, the calendar is not accurate.
Along with the word, along with the thought of time being not even accurate. So if that much ain't even true,
We about off some days now.
and we about off a lot of things
Yeah.
and being hypnotized to believe a lot of things that ain't true.
So no tomorrows exist. So
This is the same
no
damn-
days exist. It's just one day.
Yeah, so what, and not only that,
One day of growth.
exactly. So, you know, I have other thoughts in my mind that are, you know, a question, you know, but I need nor to worry about things like a brand of who I am as far as Black, African American, Negro, or color. Just, you know, I would say the first sign of life and death. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I'm the first.
Sign of life. And
I love that. You know, define me as.
I love that. That was hardcore. I ain't even gonna lie to you, God. That was hardcore right
I mean,
there.
that's, if you want to be technical and be.
But when you said it, God,
Yes.
the first person I thought about was the black woman, cause she the first sign of life and death. So when you look at her womb,
And you are a reflection
of her.
and you're
Peace,
a
God.
reflection of where you come from.
Peace, God. That's true. Peace, yeah. That's why I said that was powerful, God.
I mean, I would identify myself with something such as that before such a brand as those, or proclaiming a nationality that, why would I need a nation? From my understanding, a nationality only exists because I have such a defense or an army to protect that nation. And if I look at or want to separate myself from others, I would proclaim a nationality. But if I want to identify myself as from the earth, I mean, does the word nationality even exist? And why would I have to protect others from the earth that they also is from? They have just as much as a right to the land as I do.
I was having a vision the other day, right? And the vision was the river. And I visioned the river as the borders, as you would vision the borders. Yeah. And as you would vision Mexico and Texas.
Yeah.
As you would visualize the blacks and the Latinos, right? The Pocahontas on the river, right? The forest. And in a point, not that we watched it, just that we, that it's an Indian, or Aboriginal or indigenous of the land, the native of the land, beautiful young princess, right? That grew,
Just like they was talking about the one movie about the land, or something. African land. I don't know the name of it, but they got a movie after that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Kwame or Kwame. This thing can start with a K. I'm not sure. Bro.
Try to say it again. What you said?
Kwame or Kawumba. I came from out. You know,
it's a movie.
They got a movie where the brother, you know, protecting the land or trying to proclaim his land or get back his land or save his land or something. It's Kwame or some type of African, you know, Afrocentric type of movie, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
But I'm just thinking, like, you know, when you mentioned Pocahontas, I was
Yeah.
thinking about
So like on here, right, God? So I just picture, you know, as you would picture it, you know. All right. So you know we have borders that border through or whatnot. They're creating these borders here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm picturing it not that way. I'm picturing it this way.
Okay.
All right. But the same way that you would picture the USA's border with Mexico's border, but it always being North America, right? Or Americas. But the closeness of the rivers that you can actually jump in and make it across. You can actually swim across. That's what I'm saying. Now, the Pacific might not be as so.
Why you say that? What's going
But
on?
I don't, because it's the deepest and it's the hottest. It's the volcanic area, but it's the deepest. But that's the reason why we're bringing this up to the university, because if I could see it there as a channel, in most waters of channel, but this one is wide, right? So some could be a little more wider than others. But what I want us to really actually see is that these waters is the channels, some of the channels that connect to other lands or islands. There's channels, right? And so I always picture, I was just picturing that the points where they separate.
It's not as they picture it on their globe or their map. You got, that's, you know, I ask this question all the time: who draws the line?
Right.
You know, like I said, art is the original demonstration. By art being the original demonstration and who draws the line, you come to learn that, you know, like a certain branch in the judicial system actually draws the line through the sense that we, you know.
Well, they got those, not to cut through wisdom, they got those 13 parallels, the 33 parallels, which are like 33 degrees, like bases. And they flow throughout the earth, and it's pretty much what I would consider water, the Holy Spirit, and then electricity. Okay.
So you're talking about the same thing I was going to reflect on too, as far as it being energy, because you know, like gravitational
What you say, Jen?
I'm sauteing the vegetables. Excuse me. I'm sauteing the vegetables. Do you want me to put any beans on?
If you want to, that's on you.
What type?
That's on you. If you want to, just vegetables, and onions.
I'm sauteing green peppers and onions right now.
Right.
Just put that on it.
With some mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
If you was,
You got those onions in here, boy.
if you was magnetic conscious, not just conscious, but magnetic conscious, where you can direct energy to a certain direction, you will be magnetic conscious, to where you can direct attention. A lot of our energy is being forced in the opposite direction, like you pointed out here. A lot of our attention is being redirected or directed by a gravitational pull, by those that's understanding the forces of gravity and the forces of energy, when, you know, like kinetic force.
Which number one, we have no control of our land,
So you ain't gonna have control of your energy either. I
We
got
have
you.
no control.
I'm gonna direct your energy here. I'm gonna say this ain't your land.
Because we have no control over the water wells. That's the energy of life. So we have not conquered, or we do not own or possess any land that has water. So all of these parallels that has rivers and waters.
It's a make-believe situation.
No, the rivers and waters is real. The ORISHAS is real. So the waters that flow throughout the earth, we have no ownership over them. Meaning, like, we barely even visit these places, right? Therefore, like, we don't protect them. They get contaminated. We don't care for them because we don't control them. You see what I'm saying? We don't guard them. Like if you know this is a deity, this is your deity. Like you protect it. Like, you know what I mean? Like knowing, like, it's just like recycling. Learning that we was planted, like, as the planetarians, we have to recycle in this planet. We have to not litter. Now they needed to tell us that so that they keep making products.
Yeah.
But they had to give us the truth too. A portion. And I mean the truth was that you don't fucking litter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't destroy your planet.
Yeah.
That was the truth, the ultimate truth. You don't destroy your planet. You get me, God? So it's like, wow. But that's what they do daily.
Like I said, who draws the line?
Yeah, they draw the line.
If they draw the line, they make the letter. If they make the letter, they make the word.
That's what
If
they've
they
been
make
doing.
the word,
God.
they make the sentence. If they make the sentence, they make the paragraph. They make the paragraph, they make who they say you is, because out that paragraph you won't even know nothing about yourself.
Truth, God.
So it's all art, basically what I'm saying. Like,
Sure.
they finessing, in my mind, I'm gonna speak from within. Pirates.
Pirates.
What would a pirate do? They'd take somebody's,
That's what Rose said. We all pirates.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? And you'll
But
probably,
we ain't voyage shit. We ain't voyage nothing.
but you not taking ownership of such, brand, but somebody else could say we doing that when you wearing that. Just wearing it.
Peace, God. Say less.
You taking something that's from somewhere and claiming it as your own.
Truth.
And it's really ours, and you saying it's yours. That's the same thing that Most High saying about.
I ain't said it yet.
But I'm just saying, if you were to say, or somebody would have put that on and say, look at my such and such, or look at my such and such, or look at my such and such, you claiming something that was once claimed was from somewhere.
It's all a spell, God.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, like even the thought of the Isa, Jesus story, being a fisher of men, you know what I'm saying? Being a fisher of men or souls, somebody else stole that idea. Now they stealing souls for a whole nother agenda instead of the agenda that it originated from. So that in my mind, that's who wear the big hat. They call him the fish head. In the game of chess, who is the fish head? Out of the 16 pieces,
Yeah,
where do you? Obviously, that's the bishop. And he basically, or she, is claiming something as his own, which was once someone or something else's. Pirates, they wear the big hats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the university we speak in with the whole entirety of not only this planet or whatever other planets that may have been discovered, may exist, may not exist. We speak for all that is existing, all that is living. We speak to those that are dead as well, meaning
All
that
or none.
those that are in those stages of darkness.
All or none.
And so with that, we don't take claim.
Exactly.
What we do is we guide. So we guide. So if there's truth there, we guide you there. So if we guide you to the crystals, it's because there's truth there, right? And wherever that there's truth there, there's power, and the power there, there's spirit. The spirit there, know that you are connected to it. And so we just want to make sure that we are all reconnected. We don't want to take claim. We don't want to
Possess
nobody. Possess. Yeah, nothing is of possession. We don't want possession to be a thing, and that's why I repeat and I always say to my son that we don't need the crystals. We don't need the crystals to connect. The crystals need us to reconnect. That's it, right? And so we at the university, we make sure that we stay connected. So some of us have to reconnect, right? And so it may take the crystals, and it may take other things and such, right? Now that's of choice, because I know I've been on this journey without crystals, right? Right? And so with that, it's just that the crystals have helped me dig deeper, as you would dig deeper into the crust of the earth where the crystals lie at. And so having the crystals against my skin connects me and allows me to be able to share those experiences that the crystals had on the earth, as well as what my experience on the earth. And we just make it all one because it's all an experience.
Sure.
But we don't want to claim. Nah.
No, what's mine is yours, yours is mine.
Ain't no doubt. Yeah.
How you pronounce it? Ikasa, Sukasa. You know what I'm saying?
However, there is those that are in power and in control and hold claim.
Hungry for power.
And hunger for it. And therefore we that have equal.
Saying we just as powerful as that. But
we that have equal entitlement.
It's being able to adapt and change with time. You know what I'm saying?
Equal entitlement. Now the equal entitlement comes from this. Now the understanding this, the equal entitlement is the equality of the goddesses. And knowing that these goddesses, they come in all nationality, all color, right? And that's why we deal with the chakras.
Yeah.
And so with that, they have entitlement, right?
I mean, they have a right, just like I said,
No, that's the equality. I mean,
that's
the equality.
That's justice.
That's the equality, and
that's true justice. That's not blind justice. That's justice with just I see.
Right.
I see equality. The I see what I see, or the I see.
So when we speak of these lands,
you don't see you bigger than me. I see you, me, and me.
Equality.
Equality.
So when we speak of the land and we speak of control and power, and
that's when I put the blind
and being able to claim. It's just knowing that there is a feminine deity, right?
Yeah, true.
That is more. This is the territory of this deity.
Yeah.
You hear me? You get what I'm saying? So
that's
it's just like how you would locate the ring of fire and you would be like, this is the highest, because of these volcanoes. We know like this is that dragon right here, like this is that fire.
That's what they got standing as, as what's that? The Liberty Statue of Liberty.
Peace God.
That's their symbol, but the actual, as you know, it's a woman too.
Peace God.
But that Statue of Liberty is a symbol for the woman.
Peace.
Or for the equality.
Peace. She still had the shackles on, or they was broken off.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But that Statue of Liberty is a reflection on what we speaking about right now. That liberty.
Peace God.
You know what I'm saying? The liberty within itself is being able to freedom of speech and freedom of right of religion, freedom of expression.
Peace.
That's the liberty there.
And that's just representing another feminine deity, another water Orisha, being in the water, standing up tall in that water.
Another symbol for woman.
Peace to you, God, for that. Peace to you. And that's right here in the Americas. That was given as a gift.
As something to reflect on.
What they said, who gave that to us?
One of our brothers or something.
somewhere, right? Another country.
Yeah,
Was it France?
They got the idea from the Declaration of Independence. In my mind, that's if I'm
Their
correct.
herbs are done more than
Peace.
peace.
You turn them on for me?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know exactly where they get it from, but it come right after the Declaration of Independence. As you know, you'll see that on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like in the representation in the areas of the waters, the feminine deities, and where lines is being drawn at, the parallels, the 33 parallels, all these points. This is just like you learning how to get from one side of the town to the next side of the town. That was the dimension. You know, you learn how to take the back road, you learn how to take the highway. You know, it was certain different cuts and channels that you could have took, roads that you could have took, and it's the same with the water. So, and on this planet, we really got to get out here and experience this.
Yeah, like when they flying, like when you take
that's
a
waste
flight.
of time.
Yeah, when you take a flight by them or some, people that's running it right now.
Yeah.
They're gonna lead you in a direction off the path, then get you back on the
track,
path just to get you where you trying to go. But you gotta understand, energy thieves. It's all about gravitational pull.
If they don't take you nowhere but back to America.
Or
That's how I feel. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like it's just right. It's a channel.
They called it Asia before it was America.
Peace, God.
Asia and Europe. It was Asia was.
I see ya.
It was just all one.
I see ya.
It was all one.
Ice.
And that, that's another thought, but just like the mind and the body. It wasn't the water and different, parts of the land. The land was all one. It wasn't identified as something like, the water being, like we were talking about, it's part of the body. You not separated from your body. you a whole. You just But now they say you got different countries in a continent. But that's just like territorial type of situation.
When it's giving you history, then you know that Africa is America.
No, before Africa is named after Afrikaners. You know what I'm saying? It's named after somebody. Just like Europa. Europe is named after a female. You know what I'm saying? It's just like these names that we see now is actually named after somebody. But before they was actually named the places where they would had on the map or names that they had on the map. They got a Negro land map, which identified the tribe that you was from, and what or your not just your tribe, but your clan and nationality. All that was in your on the map. They don't show that map. You don't see that. It's probably hard to find that map, but they got the map. It's called Negro land, or it's called they got more than one term, but they use that to where, like, say we want this, like, say for instance, this ingredient to make this, they will go to that map to support that product, to create that from the different ingredients from all over though. Like, we need this, we need that, so we gotta go here and get him and king of them, because they structure and they frame is strong enough to support this, and then we know we can go here to get them because they well in agriculture, and then we got to go here and get them because they well in building things with metal or shape. It's art. Let me go back to art again. Art is, I learned, is the source to all things in existence. If you want to know anything, you will want to look at everything from, like I said, signs, symbols, and colors was the original language. That was the first language. Before it was any other language on the planet Earth, it was like bird, dog, lion, you know, symbols, you know, a stick, a staff, or, you know what I'm saying, to help you identify where you at and who you is. It wasn't no particular line
Right.
in the picture. It was a design.
Right.
Like all this is art. Like, you know, chaos and confusion come, like we talked about, come with these words, spells and curses.
Praise God. Yeah, it's deep. Just looking at the map, looking at the globe. It's deep. Everything is deep. You gotta dig deep. Can't be shallow.
Yeah, just read the
Gotta
cover of
dive
the book.
deep.
You gotta read the whole book. You can't just read the cover of the book or the back of the book. You gotta dig in the book, know what's going on.
True.
And really, we are the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, to know ourselves, we ain't just talking about what we look like on the outside. We should be reflecting on what's going on the inside.
Always.
Because that, whatever going on the inside, tells a lot about what's going on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Learning what, like, how our body respond to certain ingredients. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that some foods you can eat like a lion. A lion don't do push-ups or pump iron or do exercises. It just eat what it's supposed to eat, do it, you know, and hunt what it's supposed to hunt, and it make it, and that's what make it the king of the jungle. But here we is, think we got, you know, pump some iron, you know what I'm saying, do these certain things to be big and bad. When we really big and bad if we sustain ourselves with the ingredients that we should be eating, mentally and physically.
What should we be eating?
That's what you were recovering from what we've been deficient. We're deficient. If you know, really want to learn about ourselves, you will learn how your body responds to certain ingredients. Like, I noticed that whenever I eat anything processed, it has toxins in it, and my body expels that. But when I learned that from Ramadan, you know what I'm saying, or kosher meals, you know what I'm saying, studying about what's kosher or halal, I learned that the ingredients that we're supposed to be eating, which is, you know, produce from the earth, without the added ingredients or chemicals, it stays in the body longer than you would think. You wouldn't even go to the bathroom as far as pee or, you know, have a bowel movement if you, within like maybe a week or two. They say don't even come to the hospital if you didn't have a bowel movement after 14 rotations. It ain't even a serious problem if you don't have a bowel movement for 14 rotations. But that 14 rotation, yeah, you might want to come and see what's going on. You might be backed up. But if you was eating properly, they be like, that's not a problem. That's what you been eating. And then if you go to the hospital, they gonna tell you probably stop eating this and start eating this and
Right.
take this and take that. But that's just for a healthy life.
You're gonna have a rotation every day though.
No, you don't supposed to. You don't have to. That's something because of like
What you take in. You know,
exactly. They changed our diet. Our diet
You talking about the infants?
No, I'm talking about the school system. School system or the
I'm
people.
talking about the infants in your digestive system.
Listen to me. Even them, the ingredients we put in them, they may not expel them ingredients as much if we gave them the proper nutrients.
No, what I'm saying
It
is
sticks
that,
to the body longer.
I'm saying when the baby comes into the world, the baby takes in the milk of life.
Yeah.
No ingredient, the milk of life. When the baby takes the milk of life, the baby use the bathroom every day.
Off the titty milk or off Similac.
I said the milk of life.
Okay, the milk of life. Now, if you did the study of that, you may not find that that is actually true.
What I'm saying is to you,
Yeah.
and to add to your bill, is that the infant
Okay.
uses for something to be good or not good for you, right? So you
Yeah.
understand something that coming into this world to
Yeah.
be developed
Yes.
uses the bathroom every day off of the milk of life. No ingredient, no man-made nothing,
Okay.
just off of the titty.
From your experience.
Yeah, I watch my children.
Okay. Now, this is what I'm thinking. What is that mother put in her body? Because her body is probably polluted with something that causes that baby.
And we already know that. That's why the baby go through stages of the coloration of what it coming out of the stool. So you'll know what the mother's eating by what color the
Okay,
stool
now
is.
listen to me. Now just listen to me, bro. For example, you know what I'm saying? For example.
But however, the milk of life is separate from what the mother's eating, because it's just like a sexual. It's like milking a cow. It's sexual, so you know it's a succulation, right, of the nipple, and so it's like directly milk of life.
But
So
it's
it
still in the
cleanses.
it's still in the body.
So when it cleanses the infant, the stool changes colors because it represents from the first stage, which is black. That's what the infant lets out. Black stool, which is also represented as poppy seed, opium, etc. Right? It's the poisons that the mother ate. That's the first
You
stage.
just said it.
I'm not giving it to you.
Not by you saying that. That will be the only
giving it to
reason.
you.
And yeah, by you giving
When-
me what
yeah,
I
when-
just said, because that's exactly what I just said.
That's when the baby was in the
Obviously.
womb. I'm saying when the baby was in the womb.
In the womb and
Right.
outside the womb.
When the baby was in the womb, okay?
Yeah.
So all the poisons from when the baby was in the womb. When the baby comes out, the baby takes a shit. That first shit is black.
I don't disagree with that.
No, I tell you, I have kids.
I don't disagree with that.
Listen, I have children. I'm a creator.
Okay.
So I'm giving you experience.
Okay.
So with the experience, when the child comes out, it takes a shit, the black shit. That's from all the poison that was within, right? That the mother took, the mother was consuming, and now the child was consuming. So that's why I made the song "Dear Goddess," that we're supposed to be angels, but we're fed animal food, and they turn us into animals.
Truly.
All right, without the wings, right?
Truly.
Now, so the consumption of the poison allows the baby to take out the poison for the first shit. Now it drinks the milk of life. The next time that the baby takes a bathroom break, a stool, or releases bowel movement, release, it now releases the yellow and green shit. Now the yellow and green shit represents the life, vegetation, right, which is on Earth. So these stages, now where they got us at, now you'll know if you eat a salad, if you eat healthy, smoothies, things like that, your shit gonna be lighter or greener, right? Now, they got us where it's brown. So if you look at the stages of life and death from a leaf on a tree, it goes from what? Green, yellow,
Exactly.
Orange, brown, right? So that's where our shit is, almost where the black shit is at. So we almost at a death stage when we shitting out this brown shit. So that's because of what we consume.
Truly.
So knowing that if we consume more of
The proper ingredients, we may not even have a bowel movement for 14 rotations straight. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I went 7 rotations without a bowel movement, and I called the hospital.
What you eat?
I was eating what was called halal and kosher, was fish.
That ain't good to not have no bowel movement, G.
You would think so, but when you look it up and ask even the internet, there's a concern, or how often should I use the restroom or have a bowel movement? If you even ask an artificial intelligence, it's gonna say 14 rotations is when you likely should go consult a doctor.
That's because you too weak right there.
No,
That's
you're
too
not weak. That's 2 weeks. I went 7 rotations a whole week and
That
got
was 1
concerned.
week.
I got concerned.
Yeah, you should have.
I got concerned. It wasn't a concern to
Why
my
do you
doctor.
think they call constipation constipation?
It wasn't constipation.
No, I'm not saying it was.
Oh.
I'm just saying, why do you think that that's bad? Like
Because that's
right?
part of that's something from their investigation after eating poison that you should all
But-
have a bowel movement.
But think about
every
your
day.
body. Think about your body right now. I'm not gonna as far as like debate on it, right? Meaning, I agree, like on what you're saying. What we gotta take it back is to a time. Now, if it's a time where, let's just say, all we did was consume the milk of life, then 2 weeks will be great.
And then you don't even supposed to eat. You don't even supposed to be eating.
You hear what I
every
just
day.
said?
Exactly.
But if we taking in food
Every day.
God, that gotta get broken down. You hear what I just said?
I know that.
If we take it to a time where we were just taking in the breast milk,
Like you
then
said,
2 weeks is great for me, right?
that's what I'm trying
But
to
if we no, so now every substitute I can accept the time frame. You hear me? Because we know if we eat meat, it's long, right? So you can get up
That's
to that.
why they call it a sacrifice, a life for a life. It's not supposed to be
I just
sacrificed.
never heard of nobody like 2 weeks without. No, I have heard of some people, but that was ill. They ill.
Obviously, they ill because they probably was eating every day, even poison. I'm talking about a person that's eating, like you said, the milk of life, or which is the proper
And
ingredients.
only releasing every 2 weeks, probably.
You dig? Like I said, when you even look it up, you're gonna find that you don't even supposed to eat every day.
I would just think that I would.
You don't have to eat every day.
I would as far as the experience on like 38 years, knowing that now this is my thing to what we build it on. Knowing that I always go with the experience of knowing that people kill themselves by what they put in themselves. And when I say that is that when you consume something that's not supposed to be in there and your digestive system breaks down and you expect for it to work on the 14th day and it don't, now you didn't have that shit in there for 2 weeks already. Now that shit's ready to harden up. Because that shit is, you know what I mean? Because you gotta have fluid, right? But the fluid, remember we were just speaking about the fluid, the air, things being solid. Now if your digestive system break down and it can't get out, you know what it's gonna do? It's gonna lock up. It's gonna lock up, it's gonna break everything else down. Then you know what happened to you? You decay.
True, from the
That's
inside
death.
out.
Yeah, God, so we kill ourselves. So for the body to be that close from death on those 2 weeks, and then the fucking digestive system crashes, you're dead. So I think you should digest every day because I dig it. Peace, God.
Yeah, you would think they should die.
You know,
that's what they encourage.
If you're eating
they encourage that you should have a bowel movement every day.
But if I'm consuming the milk of life,
you don't have to. You're gonna learn that
because you ain't putting no waste in you.
That's
you turning it all to muscle.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Peace, God. Peace, God.
Now look, when I'm talking about sacrifices, even fish is a sacrifice. Any life for a life is a sacrifice. It's a life for a life.
Peace, God.
Them type of sacrifices, it's only when they call it kosher or halal, it's a proper way to kill the animal. And it's only a certain animals you're supposed to eat. You don't even supposed to eat nothing that's supposed to eat off the ground or eat from the bottom of the sea. So catfish is off your diet. You can't eat cat. That's a bottom feeder. Or it don't have scales and fins to protect itself. You're supposed to eat, fish with scales and fins. It's a whole ingredient that's that they talk about in Leviticus on the proper foods to eat. When it comes to even things that walk on all fours, or when it comes to, like I said, chickens or fowls of the air, it's only certain fowls of the air you're supposed to eat. You don't even supposed to eat all fowls of the air. Some of them is like, man, everybody is here for a
birds.
Everything is here for.
Most people don't know what fowls of the air are.
Yeah, all birds are fowls of the air.
That's crazy because it's like.
Like that's what I'm trying to say.
A chicken, like
exactly.
It's so ill about chickens, ducks, you know, all these different seagulls and birds, and then what has been fed to the community, and we don't really know which is which.
They call sentient beings. Sentient beings is you. A sentient being has feelings. It's able to have feelings.
Feel, yeah.
All them animals that we've been
They
eating,
have feelings.
they can.
And you're consuming the fear of them.
They remember you from a glance.
Yeah.
They don't forget you off like, you know. So if you look up I looked up the word sentient being, and it introduced me to the characteristics of most of the animals that we consume and how they think, period, and how they feel.
Let me add to that, Bill, God.
Go ahead.
To go with the feelings, right? Of the actual being. The actual sentient.
Yes, sentient.
The sentient being.
Yes.
That knowing that is the being that has the feeling, right? All right. So to deal with these emotions or chakras, right? The vibrations, to raise a vibration or lower a vibration, to cause the blood to flow a certain way, right? And at that point you strike. So knowing that that's how they strike the children for the adrenochrome, right? So the adrenochrome that is being drained from the children throughout this world, right? Not sex harm, not sex trafficking, but the draining of the nation, all right? So now the same thing with the animals. So now I'm just having a...
They saying that the earth,
Hold on,
the Lord said that the earth is crying from the blood that's being spilled.
That's what I'm seeing. And right now, I'm looking at you, but I see visions, God, of like them starting with the animals first. Like how they doing with our children now. This is what I need to say to the planet. Like what they doing to our children now. They was doing with the animals. And I want you to know the same gateway of eating the meat and the hunting of the blood, the meat and the blood, we're gonna follow them into you wanting to fucking drain some blood out of a child.
And they got
because that's the rope. That's the rope you connected to. That's the Europe shit you on.
It's already been written.
Right, yeah.
It's already been written in the Old Testament. They talk about how we're gonna be eating ourselves, eating our children.
God, I'm a vegan, God, so you gotta understand where I'm going with this.
Yes.
You hear me? It's like, damn, like I need my people to see this shit. This shit is clear as day.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's already been written. Even if you told, it's clear as day to me because
we don't know what we've been being fed. That's what I'm saying. Our people gotta stop consuming shit that's out here.
You're shocked about this as much as I've been giving it to the people. They don't. Deep. I got people that's telling me stop telling me this stuff. They want that pork. They want that red meat. They still like, man, quit telling me the stuff you learned.
Because all right, so look at this. Look what I'm saying, right? I'm saying that what they do, right? It's like they already had drained the blood that they needed to drain from the brain of the animal or whatnot, right? To get all the whatever they feel, the powers that they need to receive, right? And then they give the rest, you know what I'm saying, for the for the market, right? For the marketplace.
Energy things, pirates.
Yeah. So they give us the spoils, right? The spoils, the last little dripping of the blood through the package of the meat, right?
And
look, just enough so you can see it. Do you remember that? Just enough so you can see it. You remember you go to the grocery store, you see the blood dripping out the chicken. You like
some of that is
you pick that shit up too, right?
Exactly. But some of that, if you look into it, they say it's dye.
Preservative.
It's dye. Yeah, stuff that
they was cheating us out of the blood.
They don't even want us to see it because they know that if we saw it and looking for it how it's supposed to really look, they say like this, the food industry, they say we won't even buy it.
The color of it.
If it ain't the way it look. Now, we won't even buy it. If it ain't no red in the pork or
if it's green, we ain't buying it.
We ain't buying it.
If it's blue, we ain't buying it.
That's what they say.
That's all the different bloods that's out there.
That's what they say.
That's another bill, guy. Like I said, I was going into the Japanese bloodline, which is the Atkinson, and they got a blue line.
This is something that I, if I want to add to what we're saying.
Peace, God.
That's the only school I would support is a school that's teaching us what to eat and how to eat.
That's real, God.
That would be the only reason for a school for me.
Because it's teaching number one law of self-perseverance. And that's knowing how to survive centuries You know, knowing how to
What
get through
they
a
eat and how to
century,
eat.
yeah.
I mean, let
You
that
get
be the
through
reason
100
why my
years.
child is 8 hours away from me.
That's real.
But to learn about something that don't even apply to him,
Right.
that you energy thieves.
That's real.
You stole it. You just done took my son's energy. You know what I'm saying?
Every time, everything. I feel that. That's the realest, God. What you consume is everything.
Bro,
That is
health,
real.
I agree with that.
That's real.
Health is wealth.
So through the university, what the knowledge that we have is knowing you're supposed to consume that milk of life.
And what you, not just what you put in,
No,
what you
no,
look at, what you hear,
we're working our
what
way
you
through.
smell, all that.
But
Your
we want
sense,
the
you got
university to know that everything else is a substitute.
Yeah,
Right?
it's true. It's make believe.
However, we still have the connection of what you say. Could you say the energy from the sun,
No,
right?
not from the sun.
But I'm saying because we build a day and we talking about the disc, right?
Yeah,
Right, and the energy that may be coming from that disc, right?
coming from the star behind
The
the
star behind the disc.
Yeah.
Let's build on that, God. So we want to call that the Star of David.
Well, they call it the dog star. They call it the dog star.
Do we want to say that they consider that the Star of David?
No, it's really.
I mean, as far as
I know what you're saying. As far as it being on, from Hebrew, and as they stole the idea, but this even go farther than Hebrew.
Peace, God.
Hebrew is, even though it's ancient, it's just as ancient as Mesopotamia.
The dog star is astronomy.
I mean, astronomy study the dog,
Dog
star.
star.
And the dog star is, you got like more than one, they will say Orion is the dog star. Or Sirius, Sirius.
Orion or Oregon?
Orion.
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 Peace, God.
That's
Orion.
another star up there. And that's like, they cover that.
They say Star Sirius.
And Sirius, Sirius.
Sirius.
Yeah, Sirius. I mean, that's how I pronounce it. They probably pronounce it
Sirius.
however they pronounce it.
Sirius.
That's how I pronounce it. That's
Shit
just serious.
serious.
Yeah, and that's the only way you're gonna get with me. Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There's a lot of make believe stuff going on, and like I said, it's for someone else's agenda that's outside of eternal laws. It's man-made law. You got 4 degrees of laws. You got natural law, man-made law, or man's law. You got divine law that's inspired by eternal law. That's what we drawing off now is divine intervention, because we dwelling upon, or we allowing absolute truth to guide our thoughts instead of relative truth. We looking for the absolute truth, divine, the mothership. You know what I'm saying? We on it right now. Set sail like right at absolute truth.
Jeez, God.
We don't want to go no other way.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no other way for us. We done already made our decision.
North, east, west, south.
We going straight
North,
to absolute
north,
truth.
east, south, west.
We going to absolute truth. That right there even is made up, because going south becomes west.
No, I'm saying we've been through all there. It's no way but to go narrow straight.
To absolute truth.
Yeah.
That's we
Straight
can
down
go.
the
We
pipe.
gonna go. That's go 360. We gonna find the south and the north if we keep going. I mean, because that's art. That's from his art, piece of work, man's piece of work. That ain't the Most High. Didn't never said nothing about north, east, south, or west. He ain't even said nothing about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday either.
Real.
Or none of the days of the months. But I'm just saying, like I said, them is man-made. That's man-made. It's man-made.
And that's why we at the GBF University, we gotta make sure that we continue to study, continue to go around the globe, around America, around Earth, and any other creations, right?
Go far
anything in
beyond this.
existence,
Yeah, go far beyond
imagination.
Yeah. You
know?
definitely use your imagination. They say that's the age that we in right now is the age of imagination.
Yeah, for sure. But we are far more than thinking in the imagination. we want to live in that imagination by what we are experiencing that we would imagine. By as we go further into the journey to get confirmations of this planet and how one we are all is in this earth is close. The connections of the different continents of people. All right, so that's the key.
Your demonstration pause, I think.
Oh, that's the low battery. Yep, that's the ultimate goal, you know. Because once we're there, you know, you see the two little girls on each side of the river, you know, playing with each other. Yeah, they know, you know, family on this end, family on this end.
Who is that?
Yeah, well, I want to play with her.
Man, she look like me.
You feel me?
Two heads. I mean,
I need to get over there.
Yeah, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, just like me.
And then you know, come on, you know, creators and creatures on both sides. Come on, that's how it is. That's how it was, right? But eventually, get over there. As you get older, you go see your friend. That's that connection, that love, you know, that keeps us all together, you know? So it's like we keep being, you know, separated. And that ain't nothing by spirit. So all we is separated by spirit. But spirit don't separate it, it brings us together. Because all one.
It totally is all one.
You know what I mean?
It is all one, even you know,
because we all surrounded by it.
Even the demons is just as much as one with us as, you know, a righteous spirit.
We all surrounded by that holy water, that holy
we
spirit.
affect each other. It's like, you know. So it ain't
it's like this side of town,
destroy
the east side from the west side. You see how these two bridges? So that's an island. You know, the east side is considered an island. You know, we got 2 bridges that you have to actually
learn to coexist with
water. Yeah,
that's why I said it ain't. I want to say destroy evil because it exists.
Right.
I mean, it exists.
You can't have. Hold on, run that back.
I want to say destroy evil.
Hold on.
I would say
where you get evil from?
Because or darkness or separation from righteousness or light from day, you know.
You talking about the separations of the waters?
Yeah, basically. You know what I'm saying?
So you said
divisions, you know what I'm saying? I want to separate something that exists. I just learn how they coexist with it.
How do we get the negatives though? How do we actually get like evil, the evils, like, you know what I mean? Would that just be from experience, right? So if we started off like, you know what I mean, like to know what evil is.
Yeah, like in my mind.
Like I'm just saying, if we started off as those kids on the river,
they would look at at the other side as being evil or something not to go. Like I'm gonna stay away from it instead of wanting to go over it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We only learn that through somebody that introduced thought. That thought comes from somewhere.
Right, that's being taught, right?
Yeah, it's being indoctrinated, hypnotized.
And so when it's being taught, it's like it's educated forever to be that way.
Truly.
But if you
never
change
do
that
nothing
thought,
about it, you will never even play.
If you change that thought, then it don't exist.
But it's hard to take. Once your eyes is open to something, it's like how could you say that it don't exist when that's why I say this day will never end, because once I know you, I will never forget you. You know what I'm saying? Unless they chop my head off. So I mean for real, how would, you know, to death do us part, you know what I'm saying? Mentally or physically, that's the only way this thing will end. You know what I'm saying? We here now, man. Just like the thought of something is here. Like I said, it would be like we talking about learning to coexist with it instead of, you know, wanting to be apart from it. That's why I say we say piece together. The 5%ers introduced this thought to me on the piece together. You know what I'm saying? Not apart. That piece apart you'll also see a V in this piece that most people do with the piece apart. That piece apart means victory. That V means victory. You know what I'm saying? Victory over something, you know what I'm saying? Instead of, like we saying, piece together.
Peace, God.
Yeah, bro, I panicked when I had a bowel movement in 7 rotations. I panicked like a mother. I called St. I called one of them hospitals, told them my story, and they was like, well, thank you for telling me, but they ain't had nothing else to tell me, because I was like, well, I'm thinking that if this is happening to me, this might be the main ingredient, you know, or the solution to that cancer situation y'all got. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how could somebody be poisoned if they ain't eating the poison?
Right.
Or have a disease if they ain't, you know, eating something that's not proper for them. You know what I'm saying? Where does disease come from, or illness come from? That's why I really want to be worried about this little situation that came about. This, you know, it ain't little, but because it affected a lot of people in our era. But it was little to me because I just learned what to eat and what not to eat. You know what I'm saying? And then I had effects from the things that I ate that showed me that I was eating properly. Like I said, not just from that bowel movement experience, but I learned that I don't have to eat twice or 3 times a rotation. You know, one meal, and it wasn't even, some of, you know, if I ate what I needed to eat, I didn't have to even eat a big meal. It was just eat what I'm supposed to eat.
Right. Peace, peace, peace and love to the university. Another great build. We shall continue. This is part 3 into the celebration. We are down on the candle, right? We're still built with the greatest intent. That was the orange candle. We shall be tapping into the yellow candle. Peace and love. Peace and love to the gods, to the goddesses. Peace and love to the planet. With love. Sincerity. Serious. A Sirius star. Built on the dog star. The sun disk. Tapping in. Peace and love.